Hi. Hi. You've been like locked in a bazaar. You don't know what's going on in Magic, do you?
Listen, what? Listen, I have seen the sunlight. I am fine. I know of.
Okay. I was worried.
SpongeBob, Spider-Man.
Yes, Spider-Man. Exactly.
Some kind of Marvel things happening too outside of Spider-Man.
Foundations.
Yes.
Did you hear about Foundations?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. It's something. It's a set. It's going to be legal for 5 years. Well, it's a lot of years.
That is a long time. That's kind of gross, no?
So we did a set review for Duskmorn. It was absolutely brilliant. We didn't get one done for Foundations yet. And it's kind of late since it's been out for a week or so. But since you haven't seen the cards, I just want to show you cards, and you can tell us. You can educate the Magic people on if these cards are good. Sound fun?
Sound fun. I'm in. I actually, for the record, by the way, I haven't looked at Magic cards since we have done the Commander show, which was at this point in time more than a month ago.
That makes sense because you peaked, basically. Like what else is there to do? What else is there to do?
You're right.
Oh my gosh. So we're just gonna just look at the Foundation card and use your great wisdom that you've gained from all your experience to tell us if it's good. Sound fun?
Sounds fun. I'm in.
Let's go.
Okay, what is this? Hold on. So these are all Foundations.
These are all
random
Foundations
ass question before
cards.
we get into this.
Yeah.
Is Foundation all like new cards? I know there's a couple old ones.
No.
So are they all reprints?
So it is a big ass mix of reprints and new cards. It is all over the place, really. It's kind of wild. So,
all right.
What I'm going to show you is new cards and maybe some reprints if I'm sure you haven't seen them before.
Okay, I just want to say I really like the way that this card is designed, in the sense that I like how the art kind of bleeds beyond the frame of it, and you can kind of see the continuation of it even where the text is. It's very subtle, but it looks very, very nice. Sire of 7 Deaths. Oh my god, look at this fucking thing. Holy moly. Jesus, sorry.
You doing okay?
Yeah,
over there?
I just gotta listen.
You got this?
It's
all right.
That is a crazy looking thing. 7 neutral mana. Creature, first strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink, ward, pay 7 life, 7/7. First strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink.
You know what all that does?
Yes, I do. I remember. Listen, we've done enough of these. Listen, it's like riding a bike, dude. All right, I've played a month and a bit, but I still remember. Okay, 7 neutral mana is okay. So you've shown me Eldrauzi's before, and what was the mechanic that you were trying to put me in for Commander, where you can keep flipping your deck and just pull these things out?
That was Cascade.
Is that relevant at all for this, or is it I have to actually pay the mana?
Cascade is much more of an older mechanic. They don't really print it on new cards very often, and it's more of a modern legal mechanic. So no, I would not say that's relevant for evaluating this card for Standard in any way.
And remind me, just in case I forgot, actually, because this is something I got to clarify here.
You forgot something.
This
now.
doesn't have
go on.
There's none of these keywords, as far as I'm aware, has the rush keyword, right? It can't attack immediately when it's played. It's not summoning sickness, correct? Because it doesn't have haste.
Correct.
So this is just
none of those are haste.
Now,
yeah.
The only real thing about this that's I feel very annoying is ward. Because other than that, it's just a big stat stick with a bunch of keywords on it. But paying 7 life is actually pretty relevant, because the worst thing that this thing can do is make you pay 7 life. Sorry, am I rating this whether or not this is played or not, or what am I doing here?
That's a great idea. These cards are brand new. I guess we have some data on whether or not they got played, because this is a week old or stuff. But yeah, the people want to know if it's good. Is this good?
Let me think about this in Hearthstone terms. 7 mana for first strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink. So that is, we don't have first strike, or vigilance, but menace is interesting, trample is interesting, reach is interesting, and lifelink is interesting. I mean, in Hearthstone, this probably would not be played. It would have to have rush for it to be played. So
too much of a big dumb meatball.
It's Hearthstone's and I'm sure what I saw from Duskmorn, at least, the standard metagame is very fast. So I would be surprised if this was being played in best of one, which is what I'm thinking we're evaluating this for. The ward's interesting, but I mean, if you're playing this, you probably already won the game. Unless it's like a very slow matchup, and then at that point, do you really care about your 7 life? I'm not sure. Depends on the context of the game. But I don't know. I don't think this is very good. I wouldn't play this in Hearthstone. It'd have to be a lot better.
I'm gonna show you a card that is in standard that gets people talking about this card.
Okay. So what I just understood is this card's bad unless it's for
no. You I think are on the right track. I'm curious if this changes your mind.
What is the art of this?
It's our little homies. What's going on?
What? If you compare the first card to this card, it's like night and day difference. What is this?
Just wait till the SpongeBob. Just wait till there's a SpongeBob in there.
I can't wait for the SpongeBob cards. You have no idea how excited I am to see what they look. Just what they look like. I am just so excited to see it. Okay, so Urborg Scavengers, 2 neutral, 1 black. There's another creature. When this enters the battlefield or attacks, exile target card from graveyard. Put +1/+1 counter on this. This has flying as long as a card exiled with it has flying. So if you exile, okay, but like, dude, does that make this card actually good, or is it just completely contextual on this card, right? Or contingent on this card?
I am showing you what people get excited about. You are going to enlighten us on if they're stupid.
Okay. Okay, so exile target from your graveyard. So what are you putting this in? Like a discard deck, and then you exile it from your graveyard, and then you play this, or you have this, and then it has like every keyword in existence, I guess. I guess you won't have hexproof. I guess you could, depending on what your...
It doesn't get the ward, does it?
I don't think that's a good combo. I don't know. It's probably fine. Like in some games, it probably might actually win you the game, but I feel like consistently, like you have to hope that you discard this. You also have to hope that you have this. Yeah, I'm not thinking this is that good. I think
I'm kind of with you. It seems Christmas landy to me.
It seems, yeah, you know, it is Disneyland for sure. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word to describe this. I don't know. In Hearthstone, what I've learned is having a bunch of keywords doesn't mean it's a good card. Like it needs to be something better than that, generally speaking. And this card doesn't do a lot other than just getting a bunch of stats and becoming a big meatball, I guess, or a bunch of keywords, just to say. So I'm not about it. And the fact that it doesn't get ward is really, really bad.
It is really cool that it has 7 abilities. It's a 7/7. It costs 7 mana, and its name is 7. Do you get the? Do you get why that's kind of like a put together design right there? Like they had a mission, didn't they?
Good flavor. Good flavor.
Good flavor. Good stuff.
They did. Yeah. Unfortunately for them, though, it's the same problem in every card game.
This card made me think of you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the 7 deaths guy. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what
this card made me think of our Hearthstone videos.
Archmage of Runes, 3 neutral, 2 blue. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. It's a 3/6. Okay, so
it's your auctioneer guy, right?
Wow,
is that how it works?
This is like auctioneer with sorcerer's apprentice combined into 1 card. 5 mana. I mean, depending on what your deck is, you could cycle through everything. And you could have 2 of these on the board. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, it's so. I mean, that's a 1-turn OTK probably. This is a cool.
You could have 4 of these on the board.
That's true.
You could make copies of it and have more of these on the board.
How? Let's relax a little bit. Hold on. I mean, I don't know.
Whoa.
What? Insane. But okay, blue, from what I remember in standard, and I'm talking about Bloomburrow because I didn't really play a ton of Duskmourn. They do have a lot of low cost cards that can feed off of this. And the fact that you're always drawing a card to replace the next card is actually pretty decent. 5 mana that potentially pays itself off in a single turn could be good. I just have a feel like it really depends what blue has. I mean, you can always combine colors. I'm gonna remember that. What kind of deck wants this? Blue black? Blue white? Like I don't. I mean, so this doesn't count itself when you cast an instant, right? It has to be an additional card.
Yeah,
So
and it has to be specifically those types, instant and sorcery, because minions are not this type of spell.
Oh, right. I think it's fine. Again, this one's really tough because the thing about Gadgets and Auctioneer at least was the engine needed a payoff. So this is almost the same thing. Like if there's a payoff for this card, I'm sure it's worth putting into your deck and trying to build around for it, but it's like a piece of a puzzle. So I'm not really sure. If I had to evaluate it on its own, I think it's good, but I don't think it's going to be like in every single deck. Like it needs it needs a combo to pay off with. I feel like there might be though, right? I don't know. Have you seen it get played?
This so far hasn't been played at all. I don't think this card's any good, dude. I don't think
why?
it is. It's too expensive. It does nothing the turn it lands.
I mean,
like
that's not necessarily true, but I understand what you mean by that.
It's too likely that the game is just kind of over.
Yeah, I guess
and it
that's
doesn't
fair.
have any protection. It doesn't have any ward. I don't know, man. This seems like an easy removal target without drawing any cards. It seems like an awesome commander card.
This is in for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like surely at some point though, there'll be a way to interact with this. Like Gadgetzin worked in classic Hearthstone because there was like preparation, which was like 0 mana discount a spell by 3. So you can cycle the chain, right? Is there not like a critical mass of spells that you can work with this to get to a point where you can just kill your opponent in 1 turn?
I mean, there are a number of like playable, like 1 mana, like burn spells or card draw spells that would kind of get you through your deck. The issue is we don't have preparation. We can't perpetually reduce it by 3. We have to pay 5 honest mana for it, like a real card game. So it's a challenge.
Honest, he says. I'm sure there's ways to do stuff.
The ways to cheat it out is like maybe you can play it for 3 mana by discarding it and filling your graveyard. But if you're using that strategy, you probably don't have the cards to fuel it when you get it out. I don't know, man. Okay.
I think
I don't see it.
I'm on a different path than you are. I feel like this card is fine if there's a payoff that you could use for this, but you need the payoff. So it almost feels like you're describing that the deck isn't there for it yet. Because there was a lot of moments where Gadgets and Auctioneer just wasn't playable because there was no reason to put it into your deck. But the second you needed that engine, it was like, this is the best card in the game. So
I would love to see a world where this is like an archetype and good. The trajectory of Standard has been faster and more brutal, and 5 mana creatures have really great effects, but 5 mana creatures that require you to untap and do something just don't seem plausible. So it does need we need to be able to cheat it. Basically, we've got to be able to play it for cheaper.
Saying. Well, so here's my theory then, right? Take this in for a second. The reason why they're adding Spider-Man to Magic the Gathering,
oh god,
is so he can save you from the aggro, and then therefore the game is not as aggressive. Then this card's playable.
I guarantee Spider-Man's going to be an aggro card.
Oh,
I guarantee it's going to be an aggro card.
That would be a flavor miss. He's not an aggro guy.
That doesn't matter. Little kid want play creature punch face. That's all. That's all they care about.
You think little kids can afford Magic the Gathering? That's your first. That's your first failure. No way. Okay. We're gonna disagree on this one, and when you're right, we're gonna come back to this, and you're gonna get to say that you're right. Call me in 5 years.
And then when this rotates in 5 years, I'm gonna call Old Wash Raren. Hi, this is Old Wash. I'm gonna be like, hi, this is Old Washed CGB, and I'm gonna be like, I was right about that one card though, and you're gonna be very sad.
I'm still playing Hearthstone in 5 years. Please send help.
All right, Cowboy. What do you think of this?
Cowboy. Oh, I see what you're doing here. All right. Is this Kellen?
Yeah,
that sounds right. Planar Trailblazer. I hardly know. Legendary creature. 1 red. I'm sorry. Is a scout. What is that? What does that mean? Is a scout? Oh, wait, he is a scout.
Well, it means you're prepared, because I was a Boy Scout, and that's what it means, that we're always prepared.
Is that actually what it means? Or are you just
I don't know. It's a type.
Okay, but he is a scout. So like, what is the if for? I don't understand.
Read the rest of the card.
Okay. Reading explains the card. If it's a scout, it becomes a human fairy detective and gains When Kellen deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. 2 mana and 1 red. Counted a detective, it becomes a 3/2 human fairy rogue and gains double stroke. Okay, hold on. So you spend 2 mana to add the additional effect.
Yep. And it changes the types to make sure that you don't leapfrog. It's like the way that the card like staircases.
Oh, and then, okay, sorry. You know what? I didn't even read the mana cost of the stats here. This card's 1 mana. It's a 2/1. All right, so let me back up here for a quick second. When I played during Bloomburrow, mono red was very good. I heard it was even better in Duskmorn. I'm not sure how good it was post Leyline, but it was probably still pretty decent. No.
Yeah, it's still very much there.
Okay, so this card is probably fine. The problem is, and I just don't know if this is the case currently, is the power level of this card enough to be added to mono red? Because I don't think you're adding this to any other deck. I will say the 2 mana thing is actually really good, because if you play this on turn 1 and untaps and then you play the 2 mana, you get an additional card, which is great, and you can play it regardless of. Do you need its mana?
Yes, but no, right? Because you used all your mana that turn. So you're exiling the top card, but you can't use it.
Oh, okay. So you still have to spend the mana off the top, regardless of what the card is. Like, even if
that's right.
Okay, so this card's not nearly as good. Are you actually playing this? I guess like maybe if you top deck this later in the game, but at that point, are you winning the game as mono red? If it gets to that point, probably not. Probably not good enough, which is weird to say, because it might see play in like maybe a slower red deck. I just don't think it's that good in mono red.
It reads like a good card. It's got like card advantage and it levels up itself. It's a mana sink, so you can pour your mana into it if you have nothing else to do with your mana, which is traditionally good. The problem is current red is so brutal, streamlined, and fast that why would you need a mana sink? Just win.
Exactly. Just kill the guy.
This card is seeing play early in the format as like a one of, because it's legendary, and I guess if you need a 13th 1 mana creature more than you need an 18th land, I guess it's not bad. There are situations where it's very good, where you play this on turn 1 and your opponent is holding up counter magic, so they're waiting for you to do something on the stack, but instead you activate these abilities and just beat them to hell with Kellen. So that's your best case scenario. And it's not Christmas land. It's not Disneyland. It does happen. But it's compared to like the other cards that Red can be playing. You're right. Kellen here is just a very kind of a slow optional modal thing. You could just be winning.
Yeah, I don't. It's pretty wild to say this card's bad though, right? I feel like in aggro deck you would be like, man, even later in the game, drawing a 1 mana card that you could spend 2 mana to potentially play another card and you drew an extra card is pretty good.
But it is. Magic boomers are losing it because back in dude, I'm telling you, I'm gonna show you a card. They know exactly what I'm going for here, but I'm gonna show you a card. This is what was like the cream of the crop back in the day. All right. This is when people realized that this card was good. Like this is what we played. This is what every red deck had to have 4 of.
Jackal Pup. For each 1 damage dealt to Jackal Pup, it deals 1 damage to you. And it's a 1 mana 2/1.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it had a drawback. It was too aggressive. It had a drawback. This was the foundation. Turn 1 Jackal Pup was like the aggro start. It was the building blocks of red aggro in the beginning. And now we have 1 mana 2/1 with like 2 other abilities that include double strike and card advantage. Yeah. And we're like, nah.
Here's a question for you. There's a card in Hearthstone that is 1 mana 2/1. At the start of your turn, draw an extra card. Would that see play in Magic?
Yes.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
1 mana 2/1 for 1?
1 mana 2/1 for 1. It has to live. If it does live, you draw an extra card at the start of your turn.
I think that would, because some amount of times, especially on the play, especially best of 1, there's a certain number of times that triggers, and almost every time it triggers, your odds to win the game go up significantly, because in mono red, when you lose, it's usually because you're a card away. It's usually because you drew one too many lands and one too few spells. It's because you drew one less lightning bolt, and just that last draw step didn't get there before they turned the corner and gained life with Shieldred or whatever, right? So like I think that enough times that card is like the difference in the game is enough. I think that would be a straight on banger. I think it would be 4 of craft, play it every red deck, aggro deck day one, and I think it would even get banned.
What? Okay, I don't know about maybe you're right. I don't know. In Hearthstone, that card was very good.
What? What's the name of that card?
It's called Peasant.
Peasant. Really?
Yeah. No, I swear.
Damn.
Very good card.
And it's fine in Hearthstone.
It was played in every aggro deck until it rotated.
Okay.
So it's all in standard. That was part of the strongest expansion Hearthstone's ever gotten. And yeah, that card was like a staple for everything. Nowadays, they've printed a card that is a 2-mana 1/2 at the end of your turn, draw a card. So rather than hoping it lives to draw an extra card, you get the guaranteed draw at the end of your turn.
But it's 2 mana.
And that's
that's probably not bad.
That card is actually played quite a bit, or at least it was. I don't know about now, but it was there for a while. It was actually it was played in like a variety of different decks too. It was just a good card. It was fun.
Yeah, I think the 2/1 is, for one, is better personally. I like that card scares me. Well, I don't like that.
This is just like card game philosophy now, right? It's not even like for Magic and Hearthstone. Having 2 attack is really good in games, because you could trade up, does more damage, and it's a threat, right? So now you don't want to play into it, and it's like it was very good. Yeah, I'm just curious.
Blow
to see
your
if
mind?
Power level. No, it didn't blow my mind considering what the other cards were in that expansion. But that's for a different video. We'll get there one day.
I'll blow your mind right now. 2 is twice as much as 1.
No, you're lying.
Yeah, it is. It's like literally double. That's why it's so good, dude. That's why it's so good. Here, let's put some more 2s in front of you.
Thanks, man. All right, what do we got? Oh god, another name I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to pronounce. Oh my god. Okay. Kiora.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. The Rising Tide, 2 neutral, 1 blue. When this enters, draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. Threshold. When this attacks, if there are 7 or more in your graveyard, 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may create a Scion of the Deep, a legendary 8/8 blue octopus creature token. This is a 3-mana 3/2. Okay, so 3-mana 3/2 to draw 2 and then discard 2. I'm calculating whether or not I would see play in Hearthstone. You get to pick your discards, so that could be very relevant. Like this is fine drawing late game. You'd be okay with drawing this like later in the game. But in best of 1, is this playable? I mean, now you have this an 8/8 blue octopus creature token's pretty massive.
I mean, for 3 mana, and you still have a 3/2. Yeah, that's kind of insane.
But it has to attack.
Yep, has to survive a turn and attack. They might have to use removal on it.
No, I'm pretty sure this is bad.
Pretty sure this is bad?
Yeah, like in Hearthstone, this one seems like. And I'm pretty
Not at all? Not even a little?
This card, Hearthstone's gotten to the point that if your card doesn't impact the board immediately, it's not good enough. It needs to do something that is either really good for the mana cost or it impacts the board immediately. This
does something, right? It trades for another 3. Like they have to get rid of it, or you make it 80.
I guess you can block. I don't like it. You're talking me into this. I don't like it. There's better cards. There's no way this is
what you don't like is that I'm trying to help you.
No. We've done it. No.
What happened to our trust? We were friends, and Krim did this to us.
You did this to me. Simo is the worst at this, by the way. He's always trying to fucking blindside you. Like, well, yeah, but what about this? What about what's going on with this over here? I'm not falling for this.
I know. That's why I'm not Simo. You're not. You're treating me like I'm trying to do something bad. Okay, so you're saying this is unplayable. Don't play this.
I'm saying it's not good. I don't know about unplayable. I think you could maybe get away with it.
I mean, are there circumstances?
Let me ask a question. How likely are you to get 7 or more cards in your graveyard on turn 3?
Let's just say there's a deck that does this incredibly well in Duskmourn Standard.
Is it blue?
It is blue.
And consistently you can get 7 or more cards in your graveyard by turn 3.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so then this has to attack, and then you
by the turn it attacks. Let's say that, because that's like
turn 4.
It can be, well, that's the other thing. This deck that exists, it cheats mana. It is a graveyard deck. So it fills its graveyard. It uses cards that reanimate 3 mana creatures for 1 or 2 mana instead of 3. So it is possible that you could reanimate this and attack with it with Threshold on turn 3 instead of casting this on turn 3. I said mana cheating. Are you into it now?
Yeah, actually, I mean, mana cheating is good. It is good. I don't know. Like, it's tough because I think if I'm paying the mana for this, I'm probably not that happy about it in best of 1. Like, I feel like I can do better than this. Again, you're just making like an 8 mana meatball, and I've seen how much like insane removal you guys have. So how much do I care?
So it does that every attack.
Fair. But
like they kind of have to kill it immediately.
Let me think about this in Hearthstone again. Hold on. 3 mana to summon a 3/2, or get a 3/2. You draw 2, you discard 2. Let's just imagine a world I can pick the discards as well, so that's fine. This is unplayable in Hearthstone unless I can discard every single card. I can get 7 or more, but if it's consistent enough, maybe this is fine. I don't think this card's like the reason why this deck's good though. There's no way. It's whatever else you're describing. This card just fits into that archetype, so that like this is fine if that's playable.
That is true. I agree with that.
I don't think this card's very good. Like if you can't turbo like discard that many cards, this card's useless. Like you're never playing it. Even on turn like 6, you're not happy.
The deck was already a world championship level competitive deck.
Okay.
And then this card printed, like slotting into it. People are trying a lot of different numbers on Kiora. Some decks only have 1 of them. Some decks have 4 of them. They're putting up results. It remains to be seen if Kiora will last. Having played against this card, it's terrifying.
Really?
Like the 8/8 is by a mile the biggest thing on the board in almost every game.
Which
like
is fair,
8/8, yeah. If it spews the 8/8, it's almost like what it's over is how it feels, is the feeling. The other thing is they're playing a lot more of a card called Unsummon, which is I won't bother making you read. It's a very simple card. One blue, return target creature to owner's hand. So you can bounce your own Kioras and play them again to keep looting and achieve your threshold. You can use it in response to a removal spell so they can't kill it, and you get more value and you dig through your deck more. It's a very annoying deck, which I love. And yeah, it looks like Kiora might be here to stay for that deck. I don't know if Kiora will be anywhere else, but there are some reanimator decks, fill your graveyard, get a big baddie out of your graveyard that exist. It's been a good card. It's been a good card so far.
Maybe Hearthstone. No, I don't know, man. I guess that's fair. If the deck's that good and you could just slot this in, I'm sure it's playable. But I don't know. I don't know if it's this card. I'd have to see like every other card in the deck to really like. Maybe I'm just trying to like stand up for my opinion here. Maybe it is actually that good.
Maybe. Here.
I'm holding it.
Now we'll use a new scale. Better or worse than Kiora? All right. Here's another new card.
New scale. Oh my god! Look how this guy looks incredible.
It's metal, right?
Abyssal Harvester, 1 neutral, 2 black. He actually looks so fucking sick. What is that? What is that? Like a shovel? What is he holding there?
It's a shovel. Probably.
What is that?
If you read the card, a shovel makes sense.
Okay. Tap, exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Then exile all other nightmare tokens you control. 3 mana 3/2 for that. It's kind of interesting. From a graveyard that was put this turn. So you remove. Oh, so you can. This is kind of sick, actually. Hold on. You can do. There's actually a lot of things you can do with this. Okay, now before I get too excited here, hold on. In Hearthstone, if I can play this, pull that thing out of there, like the graveyard in quotations, and then that's on my board. That's pretty spicy.
Yep.
On my side, I could trade something in that I want another copy of and then get another copy. And then also Magic's even better for this because you get when you enter the battlefield, not like Battlecry.
Yep.
It's also just a fine stat line. And you don't have to block with it like Kiora. I don't know. This is actually such an interesting card. It gives you additional body as well. I guess you're tapping with this, so like it's like 1-for-1, but then you do get the additional effects like this. I'm just thinking of like cards you would want to reanimate. This is sick though. It's a cool design.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass card. So another, just want to make sure we get it all out there. It's exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Put in the graveyard.
Right.
It doesn't say from where.
Right. So I'm thinking like you could discard whatever.
Yep.
Like that's what that was also going through my head, right? Which
or
means
mill. You know, anything that Crim mills, you could also get.
Oh, yeah, but it has. Okay, so the milling has to be done in your turn, correct? Because you have to be able to tap this. Can you tap on your? Can you tap this on your opponent's turn?
Yes, you can.
Oh, oh, that sounds really good. Oh, see that? Like I didn't know that. See, like I would have thought that you have to tap this on your turn. So you're
in Magic, if it was only on your turn, it would say activate only as a sorcery. If it doesn't say that, it's open season, baby. Your turn, my turn, whenever I want turn.
Listen, I think this card's good then, right? It's mana cheating as long as this card survives. And it's any card you want as long as it goes in the graveyard this turn. I feel like that's very likely to happen at some point. I think it's good. Is it played in best of one is the better question? I don't know. That's tough. Is it fast enough?
As of right now, this card, from what I can find, hasn't been in a competitive deck in best of one or best of three at all.
Really? Best of three is interesting.
I know. It's
wow,
dude. And there's so many reanimator decks. It feels like something might be wrong. I would say the big problem with the card is the 3/2 stat line. There's a card cut down that destroys exactly a 3/2 or lower. Remember, cut down, or a shock, just 2 damage to target thing. And there are now cards. There's a card called Zombify that is now legal in standard from Foundations that just is 4 mana sorcery. Put target creature card from your graveyard on the battlefield.
Oh, okay.
So it's only better. 1 more mana and it does it on the spot. So if you're using that big reanimator strategy, that card makes more sense.
This card's cool though. I'm kind of. I mean, yeah, this card
like
seems
this
so
card.
much worse though, based on what you just said. The 4 mana card is so much better.
If you're doing it with your own deck, right? This thing's so much more flexible. It like getting the opponent's stuff is good, getting your stuff is good, getting it from discard is good, getting it from removal is good. It's a really good card. And not to mention, it exiles the opponent's thing from their graveyard. So if they're trying to use their graveyard, they can't use it. Yeah,
I like this card more than the last one you showed me. But
yeah,
I can understand why.
Really good.
I can understand the cut down thing is actually brutal, but like you could say the same thing for Kiora, right? Which makes me believe that the deck is better than Kiora is.
Yeah, it feels like it.
So then, there's not a deck for this, I guess, and also just reanimates just easier, or the 4 mana whatever. Is it? What did you say? Reanimate? Was that what it was called?
Yeah. So it's called Zombify. And it's an old card. It's a reprint. It's a 4 mana sorcery that puts target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it doesn't exile in it too for your graveyard is like maybe a consideration as well. I mean, it's a cool card. I can understand why it wouldn't be played though. But
it's going to be around 5 years. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of these, right? Is like maybe at some point they'll get played. Like you need like a critical mass of stuff for it to be worth it. And I don't know if this is the case, but Hearthstone's like core set, which is basically what this foundation set is, usually sets up for the expansions that are coming this year, or will be coming like out shortly. Is that the same thing for Magic? Like, are they going to start building around this? All right, I guess you have no idea.
Dude, I don't know.
Spider-Man?
They haven't done Foundations in a long time. Yeah, which of these cards is good with Spider-Man? Tell me now. Inform me. Which of these says Final Fantasy all over it?
I'm so pumped to see what these cards look like. You have no idea. I'm so excited.
It must be nice, to be a casual Magic player, not somebody who plays the game every day and has these concerns.
I just can't wait. I can't wait for the YouTube titles. Spider-Man absolutely destroyed my deck. Like, it just sounds so funny.
Yeah, it's going to be a year, dude. It's going to be a year.
I'm jealous.
Come on in. The water's warm. We could always use more creators in Magic.
Listen, if Spider-Man's sick, fuck, I wish SpongeBob was playable in Standard. I'm actually so sad. It's my dream.
Beautiful. And maybe someday. Hey, when I get the SpongeBob secret lair, you want to come play Commander with it? You want to come out? You want to come bring it?
I would love to see it. Can I have one too?
I'll see what I can do.
Yes.
All right. I really wanted to show you this card. I think this card is, I don't know. Tell me what you see.
Is that the guy from Monsters Inc? Mike Wazowski?
It kind of is, yeah.
He actually looks like Homunculus Horde. 3 neutral, 1 blue. It's a 2/2. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a token that's a copy of this creature. That's kind of sick. So in Hearthstone, this card's unplayable for the most part. Actually, in Mage, it's not. I don't think Mage is good enough. Maybe.
Wait. What was the dude who copies himself? That was Grim Patron. Is this not Grim Patron?
No. So Grim Patron was good because it interacted with the board immediately because of Warsong Commander, right? Or it gave you a win con with frothing. I mean, maybe in that deck that's funny, but I don't think it's good. Like the problem with Hearthstone for this one is you're paying 4 mana for a 2/2. And then additionally, you need to have the draw for this. And you can only do this once per turn, which makes it like really bad. I guess because like you would create the token and then you already drew your second card. So the token wouldn't copy yourself after drawing 2 more cards, right? Like, that's how I understand it, at least. You only get 1 2/2 per turn. In other words.
But if you have 2 of them out there on the next turn and you draw 2 cards, then you have 4. And if you have 4 of them out there,
at that point, we might as well get the fast pass to Disneyland and just hope for the best. Because like, if that's happening and we're gonna win off that, like, come on, there's no way. Which is why I think this card's bad. Also, in part, like, you have to be able to draw 2 cards. Like, I guess you draw one at the start of your turn regardless, but you have to be able to draw an extra one, which means, do you want to play this on turn 4? You may not. It's very slow. The one additional thing for Magic is that you can block with these things. So they are still relevant. I was going to say in Hearthstone, often what would happen is you would play this and your opponent would go like, okay. And then they would just move on and go to the next. They would just hit your face or whatever. But because you could block, it might be okay. I think this card's unplayable though. Unfortunately.
I agree. This card's terrible.
It is funny.
But when they release the Minions secret lair, 100% this card. 100%. Do you see the Minions
secret lair?
Dude, it's gonna be Minions.
My brain had like a collapse when you said that out loud. I could handle SpongeBob. Are they actually doing Minions?
Why wouldn't they? No, it's not announced, but come on, this is a lock, right? This is a lock.
It's over. It's over. It's over. Magic the Gathering is done. Okay.
Oh goodness, this is fun. I you know what? If nothing else, I'm taking like a kind of a sad solace, but it's gallows humor, right? I'm just laughing at these things in advance because I know they're gonna happen.
Oh my god. God help you guys.
So they put a big planeswalker in this set, a new planeswalker. What do you think of this?
Ooh, wait, isn't Sandra like old? I guess it's like a new version of her.
Sandra?
Chandra? What's her name? How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, you got it. Chandra.
Chandra. What did I say? Chandra?
Oh. Sandra.
Chandra Flame Shaper, 5 neutral, 2 red. 6 loyalties, so +2, you add 3 red mana. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. Choose one, you may play that card for this turn. That you still need to pay the mana cost for that one, right?
That's right.
+1, create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control, except it has haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token. And then -4, deal 8 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. 7 mana to deal 8 damage. Or
It's random.
Well, it's not random.
Isn't it?
You get the pick.
No, it's not. Dang it. It's not Hearthstone. Never mind. Go on. I was excited for a second.
What deck wants this?
I don't know. It's like a really expensive.
It's
like
pretty
big
random.
Red.
It's pretty random. If that's what you meant by like, is 7 mana deal 8 damage good?
Is 7 mana deal 8 damage good? Dividing it around a lot of targets can be good. because of the card advantage, but I would say there's got to be better ways to deal more damage. Like if they have like 4 creatures, I can deal 3 damage to all of them for 3 mana, and that's like 12 damage.
Yeah, it's also, I guess, the only one that really stands out to me as being really I mean, later in the game, both the +2 and the +1 are fine. Especially the +1 can be very good because you get a copy of something and then you get the enter the battlefield, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That can be fine. But
yeah.
I think the problem with this is like what deck wants this, and like there's probably better ways of doing this if you're playing this card. I would imagine. In Hearthstone, like obviously we don't really have Planeswalkers, we have the Titans, but most of the time the only one that would be played is probably the +1. Actually, for 7 mana for 8 damage, and it still has the other 2 abilities, if I'm comparing to a Titan, that's not bad. But it's not great. Hearthstone has 6 mana, Shaman Titan, you've seen them, to deal 3 damage to everything and heal everything on your side by 6. Which is relevant because we don't full heal our minions at the end of turn, or start of turn or whatever. But this seems really slow. I don't know. I don't see it. I'd be surprised.
It does seem really slow, and I think people say it's bad just because it's expensive, but and yes, we have to rate things based on expensive. I will say, when this card landed against me, I have played against this card, it bodied me. It slapped me around. No problem. But just absolutely destroyed me. But would any other 7-drop have done that?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Probably. I can't say I was in a good position to handle whatever decent 7-mana card came out of my opponent's deck. So where would it be this instead of something else is the big question. If you have a way to get like cast really big spells, if we're talking about what they call, X spells, they have X in the cost, as big as you can make it. The +2 on this with an X spell is crazy. Like, it's so much loyalty and so much mana. Like, you're going up to possibly like 10 or 11 mana. That better kill somebody.
I guess if it lives, it's good. Like, I don't know. It's too slow.
It's hard to kill. It's 8 loyalty is a ton of loyalty.
Yeah, but again, at that point, it's like, if you're playing this and getting away with it, you probably already won the game. Like, I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I just don't. It almost looks like a win more card, but maybe I'm completely wrong.
I think you're probably right. And, if I had to bet, I would say that's exactly what this is, that it won't see a lot of competitive play. But it is a new Planeswalker. It is a kind of big-time design, so it's fun to look at.
I got you.
Oh, I'm going to show you this card. Ready?
Whoa! Sick fucking artwork. Oh my god,
dude, the foils in this set are.
I'm gonna have to buy.
They're going for it.
Listen, I've been
dude.
so deep in the bazaar. I gotta buy a box and open it.
Yeah, we gotta get you back on the pack crack.
What is this? No, I don't. Actually, I don't. Actually, now that you say like that, I don't.
Did you like having money?
I do.
Did you think
like
we would
having
let
money.
you get away? We will not let you get away.
All right, I'm gonna try my hardest to pronounce this. Let me try this. Oh my god, Progenitus. Progenitus. Is that how you say it? Progenitus.
Yes, Progenitus.
I like my version better. 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 green. Okay, so it's 5 Hydras, which is really cool. Protection from everything, nice. Oh, it's a 10/10, by the way, in case you're curious. That's 10 mana for a 10/10. Yeah. If this will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal this and shuffle it into the owner's library instead. It's trash, unfortunately, and I don't know how this gets played. That's it.
I played this on Shuffle Up and Play in Standard. Why would you call this trash? I built my deck with this card.
Did you win?
I won that game.
Did you actually? Oh shit. Well done. No, it's
spoilers.
So in Hearthstone, a 10 mana 10/10, let's just say it has the immune keyword, for instance, and like obviously this is a little bit better because like, wait, hold on. If a card says like exile all creatures on board, this still gets exiled, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Trash,
why wouldn't it?
Trash.
You think it has protection
trash.
from everything or something?
Yeah, it says that on the card.
It doesn't work that way. No.
Yeah, trash. Digging trash. Dude, it's so I hate card games. I hate them so much because all the cool cards cost so much mana. And look at this fucking thing. It looks so cool. And then it's just so bad. Like, you're never playing this. Also, look at the mana cost on this. What am I doing with 5 different colors for this? Ass.
Let me know in the comments if Progenitus is in fact
sad.
ass.
No, there's no, is it being played? There's no way. No.
It is basically never cast for the mana cost.
Okay, so if you could cheat it out.
Yeah, this is a reprint. It's a reprint. It has a lot of history in Magic. The Timmy players adore this card, and there is a history in Magic of finding ways to cheat out Progenitus and punching the opponent to death. 10 then 20. So leave me a comment for every time and every deck in the history of Magic where Progenitus was good, just to make Raren feel bad. But I agree, this is never getting played in Standard. And I had it in my deck as a meme, and it's
all right, I'm glad.
It was, yeah, but my God, is that art not the coolest thing? It is so cool, dude.
It is very nice.
The card in the flesh is like Pokemon levels of sparkling off the page. It is, wow. It is a
very nice.
foil.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's what makes it so sad, is because the cool cards that are never played.
All right, here, check this one out.
Demonic Pact, 2 neutral, 2
Demonic
black.
Pact.
This is an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. This enchantment deals 4 damage to any target you gain for life. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. You lose the game.
What?
I'm just like going through the option. Like, this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. It says, oh, you lose. So you have 4 turns after this is played to not even, well, I guess 3 plus your next upkeep to win the game.
Yeah.
I guess you can destroy the enchantment, right? Before that happens.
You can destroy, sacrifice the enchantment. Yep, before that happens.
Okay,
it's
so
possible.
4 mana to do nothing. And then you go to your beginning of your upkeep, and then you can make a decision. And then the same thing, and then same thing, and then you have to destroy the card before you lose the game. 4 mana do nothing is not being played in Standard. So this is bad. Unless there's a way to cheat this out, then maybe it's playable. But then also, it's like, are you really happy with paying 4 mana for all these effects when you could have just maybe played a different card and then that would have done something immediately? Bad.
Bad?
I think it's bad. I wouldn't play this.
Bad? Demonic Pact bad?
If it said you got to choose immediately, then I'd be happy. But I think this is horrible. Like, why am I paying 4 mana to do nothing and then hope the thing's actually good for the next turn? And I guess it will be, like, worst case you discard 2 or you draw 2, but like you could have done that probably differently and easier. So I don't like it.
Does this card change your evaluation?
What is this?
Have a kitten.
Harmless Offering, 2 neutral, 1 red. Target opponent gains control of a target permanent you control. Oh. So you would pick the last one, and then on your turn, you would put the enchantment on your side of your opponent's side of the board, so they have to pick they lose the game.
The decision for what to do with the pact is in your upkeep, and Harmless Offering is a sorcery. So you can't like choose to lose the game and then harmless offer it to them. You have to choose all the other modes first, then offer it to them. Well, but you got the idea.
That'd be so funny. Lose the game, but first here, take it. I mean, it's a win con, I guess. That's kind of fun. And it's if you're telling me it's like 4 mana bro, it's 4 mana do nothing. Like there's no way. Like there's no way this is playable. There's no way. Like, it's so bad. Maybe in best of 3, but best of 1, it's unplayable. That's like, I don't care about this card. It's funny, though.
Wow. Okay, people are gonna... What if I... this card has... This is a reprint. Okay. This card has a history, dude.
Demonic Path?
Yeah. I was putting together a video, maybe I'll still do it someday, of like the weirdest cards to ever be competitively viable in Magic.
And this is one.
This card top 8'd a Grand Prix in this exact combination. A deck with Demonic Pact and a Harmless Offering. Top 8'd a tournament that had like 2,000 players. Competitive players.
Wait, what year? What year?
Millions of years ago.
Okay. So we're in
2015, 2016, maybe something like that.
We're in 2024.
Yeah, we are.
And I think in 2024 Magic, that is not good enough anymore.
Dude, there are so many people right now trying to get Mythic with Demonic Pact Harmless Offering. It is getting played so much on ladder. It is absolutely stupid. It is absolutely stupid.
You're winning more games because of this, surely, right?
You know what? I'm just gonna try to pull up some win rates. You say some words.
Okay. Listen, cool design. Don't get me wrong, but Demonic Pact, mana.
Hey! My personal win rate with what is known as Cat Pact, Harmless Offering Demonic Pact combo is 6 and 5, buddy. I am a 55% win rate gamer at this moment.
How many of those wins were because of Demonic Pact and the Harmless Offer?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could go through my replays and maybe find one.
So, yeah, I'm going to stick with what I said. I'm very happy with what I said. Cool card.
You don't believe.
I don't believe
you don't believe.
No.
That's
cool
so sad, dude. You've lost your soul. You're just.
What do you mean my soul?
You're just
Listen,
a meta
we're not
slave.
evaluating these cards on how fun I think they are. It's how good they are. There's no way this is playable. Like, I wish it was.
You are breaking hearts all over the place. You don't even know.
Listen, it's a reality check. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, I've been scrolling through a lot of deck lists and I still haven't found a Mythic Demonic Pact deck. Even Krim loves this. Krim played this against me on Shuffle Up and Play. He said he thought it was too clunky for standard. Oh, hold on. I found a Mythic player. 19 and 4 with Demonic Pact. There is an absolute warrior out there shaking the meta at its foundations with 4 Harmless Offerings.
Listen, I'm just going to say there's no way, and we're going to move on, right? There's no...
Dude. Let me know in the comments. Demonic Pact. Are you pro Demonic Pact? That doesn't sound right, but anyway. Just go right along here. Here, just look at another big thing you're going to shit on.
What the hell? Listen, I'm just trying to be real with you. I don't know. What do you want from me? You want me to lie for content?
No, not at all. Do your thing, dude.
They're neutral, 2 green, 2 blue. I mean, again, looks really nice. That's an 8/12. This spell can't be countered. Oh, I just realized. Imagine what is it, the big dragon called? Getting countered as you cast it. I think I'd leave.
Progenitus?
Yeah, I think I would just leave. That'd be conceding right there. Trample Ward 4. When this deals combat damage to a player, create 4 3/3 blue serpent creature tokens named Coma's Coil. So it's like oh my god, this thing is fucking long. Holy shit. 8/12. Trample and Ward.
I've never heard described as long.
Look at it.
Look at this thing. It's long.
Look at its tail. It's like all over. It's the whole thing is its tail pretty much. I have no idea how good this is. Can you cheat this out?
Yeah. You can have it for 4 mana with Zombify.
Okay, when you say it like that, I mean that's pretty sick.
I have your attention now. Okay.
Because if you Zombify it, you're paying 4 mana. In worst case scenario, your opponent has to actually like ward 4. So it's like 4/4 if that's the case. If it does damage, you're getting a lot of stats at that point. When you Zombify, does it come as an 8/12 or no?
Does it come as an 8/12? Yeah, as it is. Zombify brings it out as it is.
Okay, so you need spot removal but again, the conversation like this, I never know how to evaluate a card like that because this card's
spot removal isn't going to do anything against Ward 4 that early in the game, by the way. Yeah. There is no like you need at least 6 mana to deal with it with spot removal.
I mean, this card might just win you the game on the spot. No, like that's kind of nasty. But again, the conversation is this card actually good or is it because you can mana cheat it out, right? And that's always the conversation. That being said, like the Ward 4 is really good because if you're zombifying like the big dragon, I actually if you're zombifying the big dragon too, that's actually really fucking annoying to deal with as well. Okay, what did we learn here? Zombify is really good. This card is probably fine. I like it more than the big dragon. It's also easier to put into a deck. And the fact that it has Ward 4, if you cheat it out, it's probably even more annoying. So I think it's fine. Again, I don't think it's good though. You need Zombify for it to be played. But also, isn't Zombify a black card?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't even like Zombify this without putting a 3-color deck in, and then that's
you don't have to have green or blue mana in your deck to play Coma.
Are people doing that? That's mental, if I'm gonna be honest.
100% yes, they are doing that.
Okay, well, I mean, then Zombify is just a really good card. I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, Coma's probably fine, sure. The word 4 is very relevant, obviously, and because it has trample, like, you can't even block it unless you have an 8 health unit. So, like, they're probably getting the 3/3 Serpent. So this is probably one of the best Zombify targets. So it's probably fine.
There are a lot of good Zombify targets in Standard. This one is seeing play in those Reanimator decks. Atraxa is the other big one, and Valgavoth from Duskmourn, the 9 mana 9/9 one is actually being reanimated aggressively. And then this, like those are the ones that are up there as the cards people are reanimating right now, and it is terrifying. Yeah, this one is actually really good. This one is so good, it's getting played in Modern Reanimator.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like Modern is for busted things. You know what else is in that deck? Kiora, the Rising Tide.
Oh my god, here we go again. Listen, I know you like the card. I just don't see it. I don't tell you.
What?
I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Oh man. So they have Goryo's Vengeance in Modern, which is just 2 mana to bring something back, but only for 1 turn, and then you sacrifice it, but it has to be a legendary creature. So Coma coming back for 2 mana, hitting, making all the tentacles, and going back to the graveyard. Yeah.
What happened to my card games? Remember we used to play cards for their mana cost? Remember those days?
What the hell was ever the point of that though? It was always a countdown to breaking this stuff from the beginning. Yeah. You know it, I know it.
But
yeah.
It's funny. It's pretty wild. Okay.
So yeah, Coma's great. Just read the text box, ignore the cost. It's fine.
Ward 4 is everything. So yeah, I would agree. That's it's actually really, really nutty.
I actually love that Foundations has all these, as you would say, gigantic meatballs. This
is better than a gigantic meatball, though, right? Like this is it's got some sauce on it, you know? Like
it definitely is a meatball with sauce. So is this. What do you think of this?
Okay. I'm not, me personally, it's not my favorite type of art, but I'm down with it. Herald of Eternal Dawn, 4 neutral, 3 white, creature angel, flash, flying. You can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. I guess the stats matter too. I guess it's a 6/6. That is so interesting. The fact that it has flash is just so funny. So if your opponent like queues up their attack and then they can't go back on their attack, so you just play this and their attacks are void if you don't block.
I think you go to 0, but your life total just stays at 0 and the game doesn't end.
Holy fuck, that's so funny.
And then if this dies, you lose on the spot.
I mean, at that point, you're just praying that they don't have any removal for this, but
it's funny if they're at 6 life with no defense. It's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a surprise card. I feel like in Standard, though, this is so hard to pull off. Because if your opponent literally has any removal or any way to deal with it, like you basically did nothing. I guess you delayed it 1 turn, but maybe that's enough for you to actually like go around the corner. I don't know. This is hard. I'm trying to think of this in Hearthstone terms. Like if I guess, okay, so the closest thing I think I can evaluate this with is with Ice Block, which was a secret, which was 3 mana. When you would take fatal damage, you go immune, and then you don't die. That card was played insanely. Like it was everywhere. Like it was almost in every mage deck. The thing is, though, is that 3 mana and you can preemptively play that. You have to have this in your hand. You have to hold the mana for it. And your opponent has to be killing you the turn you want to play it. Because you're not going to tempo this out. You never tempo this out, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe you do if you have nothing else to do. At that point, you're going to lose the game regardless. But no, I think it's bad.
Bad?
Yeah.
I think you're... Yeah. Maybe I think you're right.
It's too many. It's
hoops, a really exciting card, right? But yeah. This is another one. If it gets countered, you might quit the game.
Oh, if you got countered, it's like, oh, dude, imagine. Oh my god, you'd be like, aha, I'm gonna win this game because now I have this card. And they go, actually though, like it's getting counterspelled, and then you're just crying, and then yeah.
That is the ultimate villain move. Yeah,
that'd be very miserable.
You picture Krim like, being like, hey, hold this counterspell while I read this card. Oh, wow, that's really good. That's a really good card. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty absurd. That's a very absurd. I mean, it's cool. It's like in Hearthstone, this card probably is not like, again, I compare it to Ice Block, but if we're just putting this as a minion, like it's just going to get removed. And then it's like, you're just sad. So yeah, it's the unfortunate reality of an effect like this though, because you can't print it for cheaper. Otherwise it'd be too good.
Yeah,
and be too frustrating.
It is. It's sad. It's sad. Poor Herald of Eternal Dawn. It is really pushed. Like there's a very famous card called Platinum Angel that had the same line of text but didn't have flash. It was a 4/4. It was also 7 mana. So it's like they're power creeping it, trying to bring it back, right? And I don't think they did it. So
the thing about cards like this though, it would be the most memorable moment of Magic probably in your entire like time of playing it, right?
When you get them,
when you win this game because this card had flash and they couldn't kill you, and then you turn the corner, like it would feel so good. So from a design perspective, it's probably really fun to have effects like this. The unfortunate reality is you can't print it too like low, like I said, because otherwise it's just unfun. Then it comes too common, that special moment's gone. Best of 1 standard, this is unplayable. Like you probably can't play this. Best of 3, maybe you get away with this. In
Commander, when somebody drops this at the right time, oh my god, like that's what I think this is really for. I think it's for Commander.
So if you put this in Commander and you're like someone else in the pod dies, they still die, right? Like it's just you that can't. Correct. You can't lose, and then your opponents can't win the game. That's
right.
So you're playing this on the 1v1 situation that hopefully this actually wins you the game. That'd be fun. That'd be cool. If I had this on our Commander game, I would have won.
Yes. But you can't lose from drawing out your deck if this is in play. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Would have saved your ass.
Fuck.
It would go good in your deck too, to be honest. Like you get up there in 7 mana. Yeah, this card would be great. Absolutely. I got one more. It's kind of an oldie but a goodie.
Oh my god. Ooh, a lot of big guys here you're showing me.
Hell yeah. Foundations, I think, is really leaning into that, to be honest.
Is the card like this in real life? Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry. When I pulled it up on my browser, I didn't see the black border around like the top of the card. So I was like, did they purposely cut the top to be thinner? And like the bottom was like, that doesn't make any
You thought it was
sense.
A cardboard cutout like at the movie theater?
Okay, oh my god, what is this? Moldrotha? That sounds correct. The Gravetide, sorry. 3 neutral, 1 black, 1 green, 1 blue. Hold on. I made this too big so I can see the border. 6/6. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from your graveyard. Oh my god.
You may play a land, cast a creature, cast an enchantment, cast an artifact.
You reanimate this and you win the game.
You win the game. You have to pay the cost. It's not for free.
Wait, just reanimate it. What do you mean? Just zombify it. Sorry. And then
you can zombify this and then cast stuff from your graveyard. I guess is what you're thinking.
Yeah, isn't that broken? Like that just wins you the game. Like that's so much mana cheating. It's insane.
No, it doesn't cheat mana. You have to pay for the spells.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought this was like you get to play this, and then like all the stuff in your graveyard's free, and you just
honestly they should make that card. That card would be a ride, an absolute ride.
During each of your turns. No, this is bad done.
Like that simple. Got to pay for the spells. Garbage.
So you pay for. I'm gonna base this on. Like, I'm not paying the mana cost for this. Let's get out of the way first and foremost. I'm not paying the mana cost for this. So if I'm zombifying this, 4 mana, it has to live, which it doesn't have the ward anymore. If it does live, I mean, that's cool. It's like you have an extra hand in a sense, but you're not really doing anything the turn you play it. And I guess you have a 6/6 on board, which is cool, but like you showed me Koa already, or whatever the hell his name was. So like, why am I playing this when I can play that and win the game? So probably bad.
Yeah. This is a beloved Commander. And it hasn't been legal in standard in a really long time, but this is a very beloved commander. So it's kind of exciting to have it in standard. I love that so much of this set is like exciting nostalgia bait. It's just, they're just baiting the hell out of us with this set.
They knew what they were doing, but honestly, like it's the fantasy of just having two hands, and it's cool again. Like it's just unfortunate that like how fast standard has gone, right? Like you can't play a card like this now in commander. Like you said, that's a pretty sick card. Like you're really happy to have this as your commander, I think.
Yeah. Oh, so, I think you'd enjoy it. Anybody who likes their graveyard enjoys it. Ben from my show plays this all the time. Loves this card.
Yeah, see, and that makes sense. That makes sense. Like it's a cool card. Yeah, but if we're evaluating this off standard, like I don't think this is playable, unfortunately. There's no way.
Yeah, that is pretty much a Foundations set review right there. There is a lot of bait.
It's a lot of bad stuff. Much bait. So as far as I'm concerned, it's like you're playing the 1 mana dude from green, and that's it. Is there other cards other than Zombify?
Oh, like the 1 mana dude from green.
Yeah. Isn't that
what's the 1 mana dude from green?
I can actually get you the name. Hold on. Where's the DM from this person? Hold on.
DM from a person with a 1 mana dude from green?
Is it 2 mana? No, it's 1, isn't it? Hold.
Are you talking about Llanowar Elves?
Yeah. Is that 2 mana or 1?
That's a 1 mana creature.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That gives you like you could tap it for additional mana.
Is that card good?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Like that simple? You think it's just that good?
I would argue that it might be the best card from this entire Foundation thing. I would argue that.
You'd be right. That's why I didn't show it to you. It's so freaking obvious.
I think you showed me it before, and I was like,
maybe
this is really good. But in any card, I think literally in any card game, if you had that same card, like it would be played. Like I would play that every single turn.
Yeah, Llanowar Elves is busted. I can't believe it's here for 5 years. But
yeah, that's
green. Like green was in a terrible place. Let's be real. Green hasn't been playable in a few years now. And so I guess the identity is that if this elf goes to Arm Day enough, it can lift the whole freaking archetype with those biceps.
All they need, listen, that is the make or break for Druid and Hearthstone too. All they need is consistent mana ramping, and the game is entirely different.
Yeah, there's no other way to get 3 mana on turn 2 with in standard for like any purpose you want other than Llanowar Elves. They made a version that only ramped dinosaurs, wasn't good enough. So here's Llanowar Elves.
Very good.
Yeah. Very first day I played a deck with Llanowar Elves that was about cheating out 7 drops. It worked. That was great. Sense. Yep. Next day I was like, I'll just put Llanowar Elves in my dinosaur deck that didn't work before. Does it work now? Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that?
Yep.
You know what? I thought of another green card. You probably haven't seen this card. Let's have you look at this card since, I am curious about what you think of this one. I kind of forgot about it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, it looks kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. Scavenging Ooze, 1 neutral, 1 green. For 1, it's a 2/2. For 1 green mana, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature when you gain 1 life. One green for +1/+1 and 1 life. If it lives.
And exile a card from a graveyard.
Wait. Can you do this multiple times in a turn?
You can, yes.
Yeah, because you would always exile cards from your opponent's graveyard. So even if you don't really care about the counters, that could be very relevant. Now, does this go on like the stack? Like if your opponent tries to pull a card from their graveyard and then you exile it, does it not come out of their graveyard?
That works the way you think it does, yes.
All right, so this is probably pretty good, I would imagine.
I mean, if your fear is Zombify, this is a pretty good card.
That's a fantastic card, to be honest with you, yeah. I don't even think the +1/+1 in game 1 life is that relevant. But I guess it is because you keep on doing it. The fact that you do it multiple times in a turn is very good for 1 mana. That seems really, really strong. So like this almost, against some decks, you just probably win. No? Like, isn't that played? That's played, right?
Would it be played in Hearthstone?
2 mana for a 2/2 is not playable.
Just on rate.
just on rate. Because you also can't block with it. So if it's a 2 mana 2/2 do nothing. If Hearthstone had a graveyard, and it kind of does, you just can't really like manipulate it. If I can pull something, if I could just exile a card from the graveyard, +1/+1, that's fine. You gain 1 life. In Hearthstone, it would have to be like a very specific deck you would want to probably play this in. And I'm gonna relate this that green is Druid. Druid probably doesn't care about this that much. They could probably do something better. So probably not, no. That being said, like if there is like a reanimate or a zombify card, this would be probably played just to counteract that. But I don't think this is playable in Hearthstone. It's a different world over here.
I guess so. Wow. Yeah, Scavenging Ooze has a history. This is a reprint. This has been around for a long time. I'm trying to find like when it was first printed because I thought that would be interesting. And I can't even read the date on this. I think it's 2011.
Okay. That's not that old. That's not that.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's right. Oh, it was in Commander 2011. Like, when was Scavenging Ooze first printed? That's a good question. I see M14. Okay, so M14 isn't that long ago either. But it feels like forever because Scavenging Ooze has had a history since being printed of being in green decks across several formats in competitive settings all the time. Like almost every green deck in some way incorporates some amount of Scavenging Ooze, usually 2 copies. Right now, the Golgari decks that were already pretty good have 2 Scavenging Oozes in most of their main decks since Foundations got released, along with Llanowar Elves, because that card's good. The thing with Scavenging Ooze, obviously you hit the graveyard strategies. They hate this card, despise it. Because even if they have removal, like you put this down with 1 or 2 green mana available and you still nuke their graveyard a little before it dies. And the other thing that hates this deck, that hates Scavenging Ooze, are burn decks, red decks. Just having life gain available in the late game makes a huge difference.
Oh, that's fair.
And Scavenging Ooze like digs up a little life, gets too big for them to deal with, and wins games. Like this little bugger actually is it's a competitive staple in Magic.
But I think it's a lot better in Magic because of how you interact with the graveyard, right? Like that is just a mechanical difference. And I think if Hearthstone utilized the graveyard more, it would be the case that this would be very good.
Dude, would Yu-Gi-Oh players hate this card?
See, I was actually gonna say to you, you should ask Timo to see what he thinks of this card if you haven't shown it to him.
I will. I think I will.
That card would be in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you can use on your opponent's turn, would be very, very good.
Oh yeah,
especially against the card like has he showed you Maxi? Yeah, he's probably showed you Maxi.
Yes, so, he showed me that without like even educating me at all on like how special summoning, how many times you can special summon in a turn. He just raw showed me that. I was like, well, I think I said something iconic like, well, it's called special summoning, so it can't happen that often.
Oh, that's funny. That is the most naive thing I've ever heard in my life when it comes to card games.
Thank you. Glad to give you that one.
That's very funny. That is very funny. That's actually
yeah, I know. I knocked it out of the park there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So let's see. Did you have a favorite card you saw today?
Zombify.
I didn't even show you to you.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, meta definer Zombify.
What is Magic without Zombify? You know, I don't even know anymore. Couldn't even tell you. Listen, if that's the difference between me and playing a big dragon, it's obviously Zombify. Obviously.